been awarded the Padma Shri 2023 in which field? तो एजुकेशन एंड लिटरेचर के फील्ड में उन्हें दिया गया जानम सिंह को पद्मश्री 2023 में आउटस्टैंडिंग कंट्रीब्यूशन प्रिजर्वेशन एंड प्रमोशन ऑफ होल लैंग्वेज कैटेगरी ऑफ लिटरेचर एंड एजुकेशन। तो डॉक्टर जानम सिंह सोय awarded पद्मश्री 2023 in the field of education and literature for his remarkable work in preserving and promoting the whole language. तो सोशल सर्विस category generally includes contribution towards welfare, community service, humanitarian efforts. While Dr. Soy's work benefits the whole community culturally, the official award cites his scholarly and literary contribution rather than general social service. These fields were sent to public service in the political arena or government leadership. Dr. Soy has not held any political education literature. Dr. Soy is a retired professor from Kolhar University, Jharkhand, and has dedicated 4 decades to preserving the whole languages. He authored 6 books on the culture and lifestyles of the 4 tribes and worked to include whole languages formal subject in postgraduate curriculum. This category is for contribution in healthcare, medicine or medical research. Dr. Soy's accomplishments are academic and cultural, not medical. Dr. Janam Singh Soy's Padma Shri Award recognizes his distinguished contribution towards the literature and education, specifically for promoting and preserving the whole language and tribal culture. Question 52 देखेंगे। झारखंड मुख्यमंत्री सारथी योजना operated in the state of Jharkhand is related to free coaching for the students. झारखंड मुख्यमंत्री सारथी योजना स्कीम जो है aimed at providing free coaching and career guidance to students, especially from SC, ST, OBC minority and economically weaker section to help them prepare for competitive examination. It is a skill development and employment oriented scheme in Jharkhand that provides free training and coaching to youth to prepare them for employment opportunity, including free skill training and job oriented coaching, competitive exam coaching as part of the program. It also offers supports like uniform training, material transport allowances, and employment allowances if jobs are not found within a certain period after training. तो झारखंड मुख्यमंत्री सारथी योजना is a skill development and unemployment assistance program, and it does not have direct link with loan waiver schemes. The Mukhyamantri Sarathy Yojana is implemented by Jharkhand Skill Development Mission Society under the Labor Employment Training and Skill Development Department, Jharkhand. Free coaching and skill trainings to youth in industries like IT, fashion, beauty, computer and personal development. Training for competitive exams to economically weaker and degree holding youth within Jharkhand. Eligibility: males and females aged 18 to 35 with extended age up to 50 for reserved categories. Permanent residents of Jharkhand, economically weaker section or unemployed individuals. Benefits of the scheme: employment facilitation. After training completion, unemployed youth receive monthly unemployment allowance of ₹1000 for boys, 1500 for girls or differently abled beneficiaries for up to 1 year. If they remain unemployed for 3 months after training. Transport allowance, non-residential trainees get ₹1000 per month for commuting to training centers. Entrepreneurial support: some graduates may receive gifts or supports for self-employment during special employment fair organized under the scheme. Classifying the loan waiver connection. Despite these financial incentives under Mukhyamantri Sarathy Skill Development Sarathy Yojana, the scheme is not a loan-based program. It provides training, coaching, and direct financial supports to unemployed youth, not loans the required payment. There is no official provision linking Mukhyamantri Sarathy Yojana benefits to loan waiver schemes. Any loan waivers are typically tied to agricultural loans, student loans under different schemes or state national debt relief programs are separate from MSSY. Jharkhand Mukhyamantri Sarathy Yojana is focused solely on skill development, employment and unemployment allowance, aiming to make youth employable and support them until they secure jobs. It does not offer loans, nor does participation influence eligibility for loan waivers. So any assumption that it is linked to a loan waiver is incorrect. Those seeking loan waiver must apply through specific government financial assistance program tailored for credit relief. Question number 53. Which sentence among the following is not correct regarding the Nagwanshi administration? So, the name of traditional para head Manki was changed to Thakur. This is not correct, and other statement is correct, like the Nagwanshi accepted the Pada Panchayat as an administrative unit. The Nagwanshi changed the name to Pada to Pati. The Panchayat was a permanent local body in Bhunyari Pada. The Nagwanshi accepted the Pada Panchayat as an administrative unit. The Nagwanshi ruler of Chota Thakur recognized the Pada system, a group of villages, as a local administrative unit. They allowed traditional tribal institutions like the Pada Panchayat to function for local governance, dispute resolution, and revenue related matters. The name of the traditional Pada head Manki was changed to Thakur. The Manki was the traditional head of the Pada permanent tribe like the Munda and Ora. Under the Nagwanshi administration, the title Manki was not changed to Thakur. The traditional titles largely continued, though they were sometimes brought under indirect control of the state. The Nagwanshi changed the term Pada to Pati. During Nagwanshi rule, administrative terminology was influenced by medieval revenue system. The traditional Pada was often referred to as Pati in official record, especially for revenue administration. The Panchayat was a permanent local body in Bhunyari Pada. In the Bhunyari Pada system related to original landholding tribes, the Panchayat functioned as a permanent and stable local institution, handling judicial, social, and administrative affairs. The name of the traditional Pada head Manki was changed to Thakur. This is wrong. Based on historical sources providing regarding the Nagwanshi administration and Pada system, the Nagwanshi accepted the Pada Panchayat as an administrative unit. The Nagwanshi ruler continued the existing Pada system of the Munda tribal administration during their yearly period, and it used an administrative unit coordinating through the Pada Panchayat. The Nagwanshi rulers continued the existing Pada system of the Munda tribal administration during their early period and used that as an administrative unit coordinating through the Pada Panchayat. The name of the traditional Pada head Manki was changed to Thakur. Historical indicate the local traditional head were sometimes designated as Bhunyar or other title under the Nagwanshi rules. Reflect reforms through sources do not identify a blanket replacement of Manki with Thakur. Nagwanshi changed the term Pada to Pati. The term Pada remains largely used as traditional administrative unit among the Munda and Ura community, while later under Mughal influence or during the British period some administrative adjustments occurred. The Nagwanshi themselves did not officially replace the term Pada with Padti. Question 54. Kartaha is related to which of the following? So Pada Panchayat. Kartaha was an officially functionary of the Pada Panchayat system in the Chota Nagpur region. He acted as a messenger, announcer, and assistant of the Pada Panchayat, responsible for conveying decision of the Panchayat, calling village representatives to meeting, assisting in administrative and judicial functions. Kartaha was directly associated with the Pada Panchayat. Munda Manki incorrect. The Manki was the head of the Pada among tribes like the Munda and Ora. Kartaha was not the head but a subordinate functionary. This option is incorrect. Nagwanshi Court. The Nagwanshi Court refers to the royal administrative and judicial system of the Nagwanshi rulers. Kartaha was a local tribal administrative official, not a court officer of the Nagwanshi state. Dhoklo Sohar भी गलत है. Dhoklo Sohar refers to a traditional tribal settlement or village unit. Kartaha had no direct role in village settlement structure but functioned at the Pada group of village levels. Kartaha was an important functionary of the Pada Panchayat system, making option A correct. The Kartaha appears in the context of Pada Panchayat, the traditional administrative system among the Uram community under the Nagwanshi rule. Role of Kartaha. The Mahato headman of a Raja village generally act as Kartaha chairman. In the absence of the Mahato, the Pahan, religious head or any elderly Bhunyar of the Raja village may officiate as the Kartaha of the Para council. The Para Panchayat advocates violation of social taboos, handles dispute across villages with the Para, and oversees matters affecting the whole Para or clan. Munda Manki refers to the Manki, the chief of Pati in Munda administrative system, not directly connected to Kartaha. Nagvansi Court. The royal court existed but did not directly govern the appointment or function of Kartaha. It oversaw more centralized administrative and fiscal function. Kartaha is explicitly identified as the chairman of the Pada Panchayat, acting with the decentralized tribal administrative recognized by the Nagvansi king. Kartaha is directly related to Pada Panchayat in the Nagvansi administrative structure. Question 55. To which of the following roles is Mato related in Munda administrative system? To supervise taxation. First option is incorrect as it is mentioned to preside over judicial process. In the Munda administrative system, judicial matters were mainly handled by the Munda village head and higher traditional body like the Pada Panchayat. Mato did not preside over the courts or judicial proceeding. To communicate important information to the villagers. The role of messengers or announcer was performed by officials such as Gurayat or Karta, not the Mato. Hence, communication duties were not the primary responsibility of the Mato. To supervise taxation. Mato was an important village level Panchami under the Munda system. His main responsibility was to assist the Munda in revenue related work, especially collection and supervision of taxes or rents, acting and as intermediary between villagers and higher authority. Mato was directly associated with the taxation and revenue supervision. To take care of rites and rituals. Religious and ritual duties were performed by officials like the Pahan, village priest. The Mato had no religious or ritual role in the Munda administrative system. In the Munda administrative system, the Mato was primarily responsible for supervising taxation and revenue matters. Munda administrative system. Munda administrative, the governance was organized hierarchically with the distinction role at a village and cluster village levels. Village level administration, the Munda served as the head of the village, overseeing overall administration, resolving disputes, maintaining law and order, and representing the village in larger council. Pahan acted as the village priest, responsible for religious rituals. Secondary village officials. The Mahato function as the secular headman or assistant to the Munda. Key duties of the Mahato included assisting the Munda in administrative tasks, presiding over village council in the absence of the Munda, ensuring implementation of decisions regarding disputes, festivals, and the communal matters, spreading important information across the village, acting as a communicator or coordinators, cluster level administration, Pada or Pid. Group of village were organized into clusters, often overseas by Manki, who dealt with the cases and resolved at the village level. The Mato would coordinate with the Manki, acting as a liaison between the village and the cluster council. The Mato in the Munda administration system is primarily a village level secular headman who supports the Munda, supervises the local administration, and presides over local council meeting when needed. This role is administrative and social, distinctly separate from religious duty handled by Pahan. Question number 56. Who is the deputy head of Pradhan in the Manji Pargana of administration? So Paranik is the correct answer. In the Santhal Manji Pargana administrative system, the Manji is the village head. The Paranik function is the deputy head. Assist in the Manji in the administration. Acts on behalf of the Manji in his absence. Helps in maintaining village discipline order. Paranik is the deputy head in the system. Jog Manji is associated mainly with religious and ritual activities, assisting the village priest in ceremonies. He does not perform administrative leadership duties. The Jog Paranik assists the Jog Manji in religious and ritual matters. It is not related to village administration or deputy leadership. The Godayat is the village messenger or watchman responsible for delivering messages, calling villagers to meeting, maintaining communication. He has no administrative authority. Manji Pargana system of Santhal community. The deputy head of Pradhan or Pargana is known as Des Manji. The Des Manji assists the Parganayat, head of the Pargana, and is responsible for maintaining records, keeping information about the village under the Pargana, and supporting the Parganayat in administrative and judicial matters. Question number 7. Who is the head of the village in the Urav administrative system? Manji. In the Urav Kuruk administrative system, the Manji is the head of the village. He is responsible for overall village administration, maintaining law and order, representing the village before higher traditional authorities, presiding over village meetings, and resolving disputes. Mato is incorrect. Mato assists in revenue and tax related matters. He is supporting official and not the village head. Pahan is incorrect. Pahan is the village priest responsible for religious rites and rituals worship of village deity. He has religious authority, not administrative leadership. Diwan was associated with the royal or state level administration, especially under kings or zamindars. He has no direct role in village level Urav administration. The head of the village in the Urav administrative system is the Manji. In the Urav administrative system, the head of the village is called Mato. Role of Mato serves as the secular head of the village, responsible for administrative and social issues. This includes presiding over the village council, overseeing day-to-day governance, and representing the village in regional or cluster level council, such as the Pada Panchayat. Mato is usually elected from the most influential lineage heads and may hold office hereditary or through selection by consensus. Role of Pahan. The Pahan is the religious or sacred head of the village, primarily managing rituals, religious festivals, and other spiritual duties. While highly respected, the Pahan does not typically handle the administrative or secular governance of the village. Distinction between secular and religious authority. Mato secular administration, dispute resolution, community governance. Manji not applicable to Ora, but only used among Santhal or other tribes. Mato correct answer, the secular head of the village overseeing administration. Pahan religious head does not handle village administration. Question number 7. Which of the following statement related to Munda Manki system is not correct? So, if Manki is dismissed, his successor are also deprived of their right. This is not correct. So, the post of Manki is hereditary. This is correct. Munda Manki administrative system. The Manki is the head of the Pada or Bigda group village. His position is hereditary, usually passing from father to son within a particular family. If a Manki is dismissed, his successors are also deprived of their rights. A Manki is removed due to misconduct or inefficiency, only that individual loses that position. His successors are not permanently deprived of their hereditary right. Therefore, this statement is not correct. Munda is considered the village head while the Manki is considered head of Pid. Munda head of a single village, Manki head of a group of villages, Pid or Pada. This accurately describes this respective role. The Manki does not get any share commission of the collected revenue. The Manki did not receive any commission for revenue collection. His authority was mainly administrative and judicial, not financial. The Manki is dismissed. His successors are also deprived of their rights. Of Manki Munda system, traditional self-governance system of the whole tribe in Kolan, Jharkhand. Pre-British era function as a community-driven governance structure with the village head, Mundas, and cluster head Mankis. There are no land tax or external sovereign control. During the British era, recognized post-war revolts, Wilkinson codified the system in 1833 and it was formally implemented in the Kolan government state. In 1837, Mankis and Mundas became intermediaries between colonial administration and local communities, reserving a degree of autonomy. Munda head of village resolves local disputes. Manki head of field cluster villages 8 to 15. Hears appeals from Munda rulings. Key features: hereditary leadership, decentralized decision making, cultural and legal autonomy. It originated as a form of resistance to British colonial rule. Pre-British evidence shows the system existed prior to British influence a governance structure, not primarily as anti-colonial resistance. Kolhan government state officially recognized the Munda Manki system until 1937. British formalized its recognition under colonial administration. This system embodied the cultural and legal autonomy for the whole tribe. It preserved tribal identity, customs, and customary law. Manki role involves resolving village level disputes directly. Manki is primarily here appeals cases for disputes unresolved at Munda level, overseeing a cluster rather than individual level. The following statements about the Munda Manki system are not correct. It originated as a form of resistance to British colonial rule. Manki role involves resolving village level disputes. Question 59. Naya was the name of the head of which tribal panchayat? So Khariya. The Asur tribe has its own traditional leadership system. The head of the Asur panchayat is not called the Naya. Different titles are used for their village functionaries. The Birho tribe is nomadic primitive tribal group. Their panchayat head is generally known by titles like Pradhan or Nayak, not Naya. Khariya. It is the Khariya tribal panchayat. The head is called the Naya. The Naya presides over village meetings, settle disputes, and maintains social order. The Gond tribe follows different administrative structure. Their panchayat head is known as Patel or Pradhan, not Naya. The final answer, Khariya. The Biro tribal panchayat has a head known as Naya. In traditional Jharkhand tribes, self-governing panchayats handled village administration, dispute resolution, and community decision making. Each tribe had its own hierarchy of leaders with specific titles. Munda tribe headed by Munda, assisted by Pahar. Santhal tribes headed by Manji, with roles of including Pranik and Chok Manji. Unnao tribe headed by Mahto, with Pahan as a religious assistant. Birohar tribe, their panchayat system included officials such as Mahto, Dehri, Rajmunda, and Naya. The title Naya in the Biror community refers to one of the key officials within their traditional panchayat system. Their position was part of their self-governance structure and helped in dispute settlement and decision-making process alongside other officers like the Mato and Munda. The Naya played a crucial role in maintaining law, order, and social cohesion within the Biror village. Biror Naya governance, dispute resolution, and supporting the community leadership. Question number 7. Who is considered as the village head in the Paria tribal system? Manji. Paria tribal system, particularly the Mal Paharia of Jharkhand Santal Pargana region. Gorath is the village messenger or watchman, not the village head. He assists in calling meetings and carrying messages. Majan Dakha is a religious functionary in the Paria system. He performs rituals and worship but does not head the village administration. Naik is used as a village head title in some other tribes but not in Paria system. Manji is the village head in the Padia tribal system. He presides over village meetings, settle disputes, and manage village affairs. In the Paharia tribal system, particularly among the Mal Paharia and related groups, the village head holds the title of Manji. Sardar, the Sardar oversees large territorial unit called a Tappa and function as a law-keeping authority within the Mal Paharia community. They often received land from local clans by people in exchange for maintaining order. The Manji served as the head of an individual village responsible for administration of village affairs, leadership over the local council or village panchayat, composed of 5 to 6 elders, law enforcement and mediation of disputes, coordination with the Sardar for larger community matters. The village governance integrates traditional tribal hierarchy with the modern panchayat system, maintaining the role of Manji as a central authority in local affairs. The Manji system is a long-standing tribal institution historically recognized during agreements under local rulers and colonial authorities, ensuring continuity of local leadership and social cohesion with the Pahadia villages. Mal Pahadia tribal system. Mal Pahadia lands were divided into Tapa headed by Sardars who in turn had authority over the Manji village head. Administrative function. The village head is a god Manji in their society. Now they are under the local panchayat system. The village Pradhan had administrative and law enforcing power as well. The Manji serve as the recognized village head in the Pahadia tribal system, functioning under the Sardar and leading the local village council. Question number X. According to Nagavansavali, which king had transferred the Nagvansa dynasty's capital from Sutyambe to Chutia? Dripnath Rai. पहला Nirupati Pratap Rai गलत है. Nirupati Pratap Rai, important ruler of Nagavansa dynasty. He did not shift the capital from Sutyambe to Chutia. Durjan Shah. Durjan Shah was a Nagavansa ruler known mainly for administrative activity. The transfer of the capital is not associated with his region. Dripnath Rai. According to Nagavansavali, Dripnath Rai transferred the capital of the Nagavansa dynasty from Sutyambe to Chutia. Chutia later developed into an important political and cultural center. Janardhan Rai ruled at a different time and is not mentioned in connection with the shifting the capital. Dripnath Rai, according to the Nagavansavali, the Nagavansi king who transferred the dynasty's capital from Sutia, also referred as Sutyambe or early Nagavansi seat, was Ram Shah. He succeeded his brother Durjan Shah and ruled from 1640 to 1663. During his reign, he shifted the capital from Kukragar, the earliest stronghold, to Navratangad, establishing it as the new seat of the Nagavansi dynasty. This move is historically attributed to Ram Shah's efforts to consolidate his kingdom and strengthen administrative control. Question bar set. Which leader has led the 1855-56 hole in Hazaribagh? तो लुबिया मांझी बैरू मांझी. तो लुबिया मांझी बैरू मांझी led the Santhal rule 1855 in the Hazaribagh region. They mobilized Santhal people against British exploitation, money lenders and landlords. Lubia Manji Bairu Manji 1855-56 Santhal rebellion, also known as Santhal Hul, was a major tribal uprising against the British East India Company and the exploitative zamindar system in the present-day Jharkhand and Bihar regions, including Hazaribagh. It marked one of the earliest large-scale movements of indigenous tribal community challenging colonial authority directly. Sidhu Murmu, one of the primary leaders, he played a pivotal role in mobilizing the Santhal tribes, organizing the revolt, and commanding forces in the field. Kanu Murmu, Sidhu's brother, co-leader and strategist, who worked alongside Sidhu to coordinate attacks and oversee the Santhal administrative established during the rebellion. Chand Murmu and Bhairav Murmu, two other brothers who supported Sidhu and Kanu, assuming leadership role, Suba, and joining the organized resistance. Pulo and Jhano Murmu, sister who also participated actively in the uprising, contributing to morale and tactical efforts through ultimately sacrificing their lives in action. Sidhu and Kanu Murmu from Bhangadade village were the spiritual and organizational heads. Both declared rebellion following reportedly receiving divine inspiration from Thakur Bonga, a tribal deity. They implemented a self-governed Santhal administrative, assigning titles like Suba Thakurs to themselves and rallied over 10,000 Santhal initially, escalating as the revolt spread over toward Hazaribagh and surrounding region. Leadership was characterized by military strategy, mass mobilization, and grassroots governance, distinct from contemporary uprisings that typically involve elites or provincial figures. From the whole uprising in Hazaribagh in 1855-56, the leaders were Sidhu Murmu, Kanu Murmu, Chand Murmu, and Bhairav Murmu. Sidhu Kanu spreaded the Santhal rule in the Damine Koh region and Hazaribagh, rallying village and creating autonomous governance structure during the uprisings. Principal leader in the 1855-56 rule in Hazaribagh, Sidhu Murmu and Kanu Murmu, supported by Chand and Bhairav Murmu. Question 63. Who was the first president of the Chota Nagpur Catholic Sabha? Julius Lakra. Julius Lakra was the first president of the Chota Nagpur Catholic Sabha. The Sabha was formed to protect the social, religious, educational, and cultural rights of tribal Christians in the Chota Nagpur region. Boniface Lagra, important figure, tribal Choti. Paul Dayal, not per position of the first president. Simon Horo, not first president. Julius Lagra, Chota Nagpur Catholic Sabha, founded by Boniface Lagra and Ignace back with the support of Archbishop of Chota Nagpur. The same contested election in 1937 and both Ignace Beg and Boniface Lakra were elected, implying leadership role. Boniface Lakra and possibly others such as Paul Dayal and Paul Dayal with Boniface Lakra listed as the key figure among founder and office holder. Boniface Lakra was the first president of the Chota Nagpur Catholic Sabha. Question 64. Ramjit Hasda, Budharai Kisku and Chandarai Tutu were related to which of the following movement? Non-cooperation movement. Santhal Hul, it is not correct. Santhal Hul 1855-56 led by Sidhu Kanu, Chand and Bhairav Murmu. Ramjit Hansda Bhusa is not leader of the Santhal Hul. Ramjit Hansda, Budharai Kisku and Chandra Tutu were Santhal tribal leaders who actively participated in the non-cooperation movement 1920-22. They mobilized tribal people in Santhal Pargana and Chota Nagpur region against British rule. Individual Satyagraha was 1940-41 launched by Mahatma Gandhi and involved selected individual leaders. Pahadiya revolt was an early tribal resistance led by the Pahariya tribe. Ramjit Hansda, Budharai Kisku were not involved. Ramjit Hansda, Budharai Kisku and Chandra Tutu were associated with the Santhal Hul movement. Santhal Hul 1855 was a significant tribal uprising led by Santhal community in the region of present Bihar and West Bengal against exploitative practices by British colonial authority, moneylenders and landlords. Leaders including Ramjit Hansda, Budharai Kisku and Chandra Tutu played key roles in organizing and leading the rebellion of the Santhals to resist oppressive taxation and exploitation. This movement was one of the early tribal insurgencies in India and that highlighted indigenous resistance to British colonial rule, predating many mainstream nationalist movements. The movement associated with Ramjit Hansda, Budharai Kisku and Chandra Tutu. Question 5. When was the decision taken to establish Jharkhand Area Autonomous Council? December 1993 गलत है 1994 Jharkhand Area Autonomous Council was passed in Bihar Legislative Assembly in 1994, a key formal decision towards establishing the council. This legislative approval is widely recognized as the decision point for establishing Jharkhand Area Autonomous Council, even though the council was constituted later in 1995. The decision to establish the Jharkhand Area Autonomous Council was taken by the Bihar government in 1995. Specifically, a notification from the permission of Jharkhand Area Autonomous Council was issued on 30 July 1995 and the council was formally constituted and elected on the 9th August 1995. This decision was the result of an agreement between the Bihar government and the Jharkhand leaders to create an autonomous council covering the Santhal Pargana and Chota Nagpur region aimed at accelerating the development of this area. Question 66. Gopabandhu Das, leader of the non-cooperation movement, was associated with which of the following region? Hazaribagh. Gopabandhu Das was closely associated with the Hazaribagh during the non-cooperation movement 1920-22. Hazaribagh was a major center of nationalist activities in Chota Nagpur with leaders like Jayaprakash Narayan and Rajendra Prasad also linked to it. Gopabandhu Das was actively associated with the non-cooperation movement in India, playing a pivotal role in mobilizing people in Odisha and promoting Gandhian ideals. Gopabandhu Das, popularly known as Utkalamani, was a nationalist leader and social reformer from Puri, Odisha, who significantly contributed to Indian freedom struggle, though the non-cooperation movement launched by Mahatma Gandhi in 1920. Responding to Gandhi's call, he worked tirelessly to propagate the ideals of the Indian National Congress and integrate Odisha's local effort with the national movement. He organized large public meetings in Cuttack and other areas, encouraging students, youth, and the general public to join the non-cooperation initiatives. During Gandhi's visit to Odisha in March 1921, Gopal Bandhu Das played a central role in welcoming him and delivering speeches to galvanize the local population. He also contributed to the movement through institutional means. Gopal Bandhu Das used his newspaper Samaj to spread awareness about the non-cooperation movement, established national schools like Satyavadi School, and set up ashrams such as Swaraj Ashram and Alaka ashrams to train volunteers. He personally encouraged resignation from government jobs, boycotts of British courts, educational institutions, and foreign goods in line with the Gandhi's constructive and non-violent protest program. Additionally, he supported nationalist action like the Kanika Vijayan Uprising, demonstrating solidarity with the both social and political grievances under colonial rule. Though these efforts to Gopal Das not the only revitalized Congress activities in Odisha, but also inspired large-scale participation in the non-cooperation activities, including the boycott of election as a challenge to British authority. His leadership and organizational skills significantly strengthened the nationalist movement in Odisha, linking regional aspiration with India's broader struggle for independence. Gopal Das was a key leader of the non-cooperation movement, employing education, journalism, public mobilization, and institutional development to advance Gandhian methods of peaceful resistance and national awakening in Odisha. Questions are set. In which year was the Chotanagpur Development Authority and Santhal Pargana Development Authority established? 1982. Chotanagpur Development Authority and the Santhal Pargana Development Authority were established in 1982 by Bihar government. Their objective was planned development of tribal region, economic upliftment, and infrastructure growth. In 1982, the Chota Nagpur Development Authority and the Santhal Pargana Development Authority were both established in 1972. Both development authorities were constituted under the provisions of the 5th Schedule of the Indian Constitution, which deals with the administration and control of area designated as scheduled areas, primarily inhabited by tribal population. The establishment was aimed at promoting socio-economic development, infrastructure, and welfare activities in the Chota Nagpur Plateau and Santhal Pargana region. The authorities were created under the chairmanship of Chief Minister of Bihar at that time, reflecting the government's focus on planned development in these tribal-dominated areas. These authorities were tasked with coordinating development projects, improving living standards, and implementing region-specific schemes in alignment with tribal welfare and preservation of cultural heritage. Their creation was part of broader regional development initiative to address the economic and social needs of historically marginalized communities in Jharkhand and adjacent areas. Question answered. In the Unnao tribe, for how many generations are marriage prohibited in the mother's gotra at the time of children marriage? 7. According to Unnao customary law, marriage is prohibited up to 7 generations in the mother's gotra at the time of children marriage. This rule ensures clan exogamy and prevent close kin marriages. The Unnao tribe follows strict clan exogamy system and tribal endogamy, meanings that marriage within one's own clan gotra is forbidden while marriage within the tribe is allowed. The gotra system among the Unnao function as a lineage determining social relationship and prohibiting unions that would be considered incestuous or violate kinship taboos according to ethnographic sources. And particularly in the broader Indian tribal context, it also applies to the Unnao. Marriage is prohibited up to 3 generations on both the father's and mother's side. Therefore, an Unnao marry from mother's gotra extending back 3 generations corresponding to first cousin and other close maternal relatives. Question number 1 answer. What was the popular attire of Munda women? Pariya. Pariya is the traditional popular attire worn by women. It is a single long piece of cloth wrapped around the body, distinct in tribal system. This dress reflects the cultural identity and simplicity of the Munda tribe. Pichoti is a traditional attire of Kuma, Uttarakhand woman. It has no connection with the Munda tribe. Langa is associated mainly with the Rajasthan and North Indian culture, not traditionally worn by Munda women. Salwar kameez in the non-tribal areas popular due to modern and urban influence, not the traditional attire of the Munda woman. The popular traditional attire of Munda woman is the pariya, simple wrap-around skirt used violently among the tribe. Pariya is a long unstitched piece of cloth wrapped around the waist, often paired with a blouse. or bodies. It is used to the Munda tribe and other tribal community in Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and nearby region. The garment is practical and suited to tribal lifestyle, particularly for women engaged in daily agriculture or domestic work. The parya is more than just clothing; it also represents cultural identity among the Mundas. The pattern colors and weaving styles can indicate social status, marital status, or specific ceremonial occasions. Unlike the sarwa kameez or lehenga, which are common in urban or non-tribal Indian communities, the parya is uniquely tied to tribal heritage. Question 70. Who was the third governor of the Jharkhand? Ved Marwah. Sayyid Sittaraji was the second governor of Jharkhand. He served out of the first governor Prabhat Kumar. Ved Prakash Marwah was the third governor of Jharkhand. He served as the governor from 2003 to 4. M. Ramajoy was the fifth governor of Jharkhand. He served much later on, not the third governor. Sayyid Ahmad was the sixth governor of Jharkhand. He served as after the M. Ramajoy's. Ved Marwah, third governor of Jharkhand, was made who served from 12 June 2003 to 9 December 2004. Ved Marwah, retired Indian police service officer from National Capital Territory Delhi, was appointed as the third governor of Jharkhand by President APJ Abdul Kalam. His tenure lasted for approximately 1 year and 180 days, following the governorship of Justice Mangad Rama Joyce, who was the second governor. Second governor, Sayyid Sittaraji. Question 71. In the budget of 2022-23, Jharkhand government spent लगभग 13.54% of money on education. According to budget 2022-23, Jharkhand government allocated 13.54% of its total expenditures to education. This was the highest sector allocation in that budget area. Social welfare not as high 13.54%. Home usually refers to internal security policy. That sector is lower than 13.5%. Education 13.5% sector with that specific percentage. Based on the budget data for Jharkhand for the financial year 22-23, the allocated expenditure on social welfare and related nutritional scheme is follows. 37,313 crore. So specific social welfare and nutritional budget 7,287 crore. 945 तो state old age pension scheme sector growth and compared 6,837 crore 7% increase sector growth and comparative 7,287 crore nutritional 72. The food and Gaudan of Kataha Brahmin are associated with which ritual? Death. Kataha Brahmin is specifically associated with death ritual during Shraddha Pindadan and post-death ceremony. Food is offered to the Kataha Brahmin and Gaudan. Donation of cow is symbolically performed. These acts are believed to have the peaceful journey of the soul. Marriage ritual involves dhan gifts, but food and Gaudan of Kataha Brahmin not related to it. The Kataha Brahmin are a Hindu priestly community primarily involved in performing death rites and funeral rites in North India. Their name derives from the Hindi term means kata and means to cut flower balls, which reflects a key aspect of the ritual practice. The ritual most closely associated with the food offerings and the concept of gaula. Subtle ancestral spirits in the Kata Brahmin tradition Shraddha particularly is performed during Pitu Paksh. This ritual ensures that the Pithar's ancestral spirits are honored, nourished and spiritually appeased. Pindadan, offering of Pinda. Flower of rice ball Pinda recipe represents the deceased ancestors. The ritual involves offering these Pindas at sacred spot or at home, representing the feeding of ancestors in the subtle world. Agunokaran, oblation in fire. A portion of rice is offered to the fire, representing Soma and Agni, using Dharva grass, symbolically providing sustenance to the ancestral and the spiritual forms. This ensures that the essence of the food reaches the ancestor, not physically present. Brahman Bhoj, feeding Brahmins. Food is physically offered to Brahmins who stand for the departed spirits. The act satisfies both physical and spiritual obligation, feeding the deceased in symbolic form and accruing merit for the performance. Tarpan, water offering. Water mixed with the black sesame, barley, and other ingredients is offered to the ancestors, symbolically quenching the thirst and completing the ritual norms cycle. Gola connection. In the Katampara worldview, the Gola refers to the subtle remains of the deceased or ancestral spirits. The pindas and food offering create a conduit wherever the ancestor Gola is sustained and appeased. These rituals combine a symbolic feeding, offering, and fire and water rituals to maintain connection between their living and their ancestors. They ensure that the ancestral substral body Gola spiritually nourished, preventing any unrest, securing blessing for the family. The rituals of Sraddha encompass Pind, Dhan, Agnokaran, Brahman, Bhojan, Tarpan is the central observation by the Kata Brahmin associated with the food and Kaula. These rites are aimed at feeding, honoring, and spiritually satisfying the departed ancestor represented by Pindas and invoked Brahmins, maintaining the cosmic and familial duty of ancestral worship. 73. Who wrote the book named खरिया लोक कथाओं का साहित्यिक एवं संस्कृति अध्ययन? रोज करकट्टा. The book खरिया लोक कथाओं का साहित्य एवं अध्ययन रोज by रोज करकट्टा. रोज करकट्टा by an Indian writer, poet, and travel writer activist known for her work on travel, language, and culture. She authored खरिया लोक कथाओं का साहित्य एवं सांस्कृतिक अध्ययन. रोज करकट्टा. The word is a detailed study on the folk literature of the Kari community, exploring its literary and cultural significance, and is recognized as a pioneering research in this field. Rose Karkata, a prolific writer, poet, and travel rights activist from the Kari community herself, and also authored this book along with the other notable works such as Premchand, Lotek, and Sudha. She dedicated her life to preserving travel, language, and culture through both scholarship and activism. Question 74. Which one of the following dances is performed on the occasion of Sarod? Jadur. Jadur is a traditional tribal dance of Oraokoro community. It is specifically performed during Charul, a major spring festival that celebrates nature, forest, and the salt tree. The dance is part of the religious and cultural ritual associated with the Sarul making. Jatra is a form of folk theatre drama, mainly popular in West Bengal, Odisha, and Assam. It is theatrical performance. Chao is a classical folk dance performed in Jharkhand, Odisha, and West Bengal, known for its mask and marital movement. It is usually performed during Chaitra Parva. Natwa is a folk dance associated mainly with the Bihar and Eastern Uttar Pradesh, often performed to entertain and social occasion, but is no direct connection with Sarul. Sarul is a tribal nature festival, and Jadur dance is traditionally performed on this occasion. Dance performed on the occasion of Sarul includes Jadar along with other dance like Jana and Por Jadur celebrated by Ura, Munda, and Ho tribes. Sarul is a spring festival celebrated primarily in Jharkhand and neighboring regions, marking the onset of Adivasis. New Year and the flowering of the sal tree. The festivals holding strong cultural and spiritual significance, symbolizing the combination between human's nature and the village duty. Communities gather at sacred groups known as sthals to perform rituals, worship the deities with salt flowers, and offer sacrifice, including rooster and rice beer. Dancing is an integral part of the celebration. On Sarul, after the ritual conducted by the village priest Pahan, villagers engage in lively performance to beat of traditional drums and flutes. The dances represent joy, community bonding, and gratitude for prosperous season. Jadur, one of the main dances performed during Sarul, especially on the second day of the festival. Jain, another traditional dance accompanying Jadur, involving vibrant movement by men and women in ethnic attire. Poor Jadur also performed in parts of the festival celebration, enhancing the musical and cultural expression. Karma Dasa and Kaga Parvara are traditionally favored by the Urav tribes. During Sarul, these dances are performed collectively in group with indicates steps on rhythm of traditional drums such as dhol, mangan, and nagra. Men's and women wear customary costumes, men in curry and women, adding to the visual vibrancy of the festival. Among the options provided, the traditional dance performed during ceremony. 75. One of the folk songs sung generally on the occasion of marriage is Domkach. Karma dance. Domkach folk song sung mainly during the marriage ceremonies, especially among the women in Jharkhand, Bihar, and Eastern Uttar Pradesh. Domkach is a folk song generally sung on the occasion of marriage, particularly in regions like Jharkhand and some part of North and Central India. Folk song plays a vital role in weddings with different songs associated with a specific occasion. These songs are traditionally sung by women and reflect the emotion, rituals, and blessing connected to marriage. They can range from playful teasing of the groom to prayers and well wishes for the couple's prosperous for life together. Domkos is a traditional folk song of Jharkhand and neighboring regions. Sung primarily during marriage ceremonies, it belongs to the category of songs celebrating the union and festivities, often performed by female members of the family. The lyrics typically encompass blessings for the bride and groom, joy at the union, and sometimes light-hearted commentary on marriage life. Singing Domkach strengthens family and community bonds during the wedding helps preserve regional cultural tradition. Karma and Hairo are recognized folk songs in Indian culture. but are not specifically tied to marriage rituals in the source identity. Karma is often associated with a seasonal or harvest celebration, while harrow may be linked to festival or other cultural context. क्वेश्चन 76 अगला मीटिंग में तब तक के लिए जय हिंद, जय भारत, वंदे मातरम, जय झारखंड।